Hello there. So earlier on today, depending on when you're watching this, I posted a short clip on my Instagram encouraging people to be thoughtful. And on here, I thought I would share with you 5 traits of thoughtful people so that you can incorporate one, two, or all five into your daily life. But first, who am I? If this is your first time on here, welcome. My name is Lady Bodam. I'm a marketing and branding executive. I've been building amazing, multinational, profitable, fantastic brands for over a decade, mostly across sub Saharan Africa. I am also a feminine leadership advocate, an etiquette and lifestyle coach, and I believe in equipping women to unlock the power, the purpose, and the perfection of their femininity so they can thrive, lead authentically, and enjoy holistic success. I'm an author, a speaker, a teacher, a coach, and as I love to say, an elegant infusion of light into my world. So, why are we here today? Thoughtfulness. I don't know about you, but I feel sometimes that we've become so jaded in the world of today. Everybody is thinking about themselves only. They're thinking about what they can get for themselves, what they can achieve for themselves, what doors they can open for themselves, what connections they can make to power their own vision. We are so self-centered and self-focused. And thoughtfulness can be a distinguishing factor because it causes us to look away from ourselves and look to the others. So, what are some of the traits, or what is it about thoughtfulness? Number one is it makes you stand out, especially now. It makes you stand out because so few people are actually, truly, genuinely thoughtful. It distinguishes you. When people see that there's someone that has an eye for the other people, whether you're at table and you're checking to make sure everybody's served before you start your meal, or maybe you're attentive to pouring a glass of water for the person on your right or on your left, or maybe it's at the office and you make sure everybody's able to get their voice heard in a meeting, or maybe it's at a social function and you take the extra time to speak to that person who doesn't have as many friends. Very soon, people recognize you and it distinguishes you and makes you stand out because not as many people are doing it. But most importantly, I think, thoughtfulness marks the hearts of the others. I don't know about you, but if you've ever been at the receiving end of a thoughtful action, it marks your heart. It does something to you on the inside. It doesn't just put a smile on your face, but it really leaves a deposit of warm gooiness in your heart. Wouldn't you like to be a dispenser of this warmth and love and joy and peace and affection? I know I sure would. So here are 5 things that you can incorporate today to become a more thoughtful person. The first one is be considerate. Be considerate. And what does this mean? And I have my little notes here I'm going to refer to occasionally. Be considerate of other people's feelings. This thing that you're saying, in the tone of voice that you're saying it, can the other person hear you? Do they feel judged? Do they feel insulted? Do they feel less than? Do they feel seen? Do they feel heard? Do they feel understood? Are you considerate of the other person? Even when we have to correct. I know I was having a conversation with somebody earlier on today in my office, and I was sharing with her, I was telling her how sometimes our tone of voice and sometimes how we relate with our partners, we need to do better. And she says, oh, personalities are different. The beautiful thing about thoughtfulness is it's irrespective of your personality type. You don't all have to be soft-spoken and warm and all lovey-dovey to be thoughtful. You can be a strong personality and still be thoughtful. You can be a professional and still be thoughtful. You can be a mom and still be thoughtful. You can be a world leader and still be thoughtful. So the idea is, how are you being considerate of the others? Are you considerate of their desires, of what they truly want, of what they're trying to achieve? And how are you taking that into consideration as you are making your own choices, your own decisions, or showing up in the way that you do? The second thing is thoughtful people have empathy. And what is empathy? It's your ability to put ourselves in the shoes of the other person. In the times we live in, if you put on the news every day, we see wars and rumors of wars. We see children who are malnourished and impoverished and going hungry. We see poverty. We see conflict. We see murder. We see theft. We see incest. We see all sorts of horrid things on the news every single day. If we are not mindful about how we keep and guard our heart, and mindful about what we watch and the type of news we consume, there's a very real tendency that we become immune to life and immune to the things that are going on around us. Thoughtful people cannot be immune to the sufferings and to the realities of others. We have to understand what people want. We have to see people as people, and we have to see each person as a person. And that brings me to the third point, which is thoughtful people are compassionate. Now, empathy is that you see what the person is going through, you understand what the person is going through, you're putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Being considerate means that you're doing something, being compassionate, means that you're doing something to help the other person. So there's a story I like, and it says, imagine if you see somebody who is sick or who is maybe naked or poorly clothed, and you say, oh, go in peace, go well, God bless you. We've not really done much to solve the problem. Instead, you give them a shirt, you clothe them, you give them some food to eat, you give them a warm drink, and then you can send them on their way and say, go in peace, God bless you. So, thoughtful people are compassionate. We try and do something to help. I'll share two more things. The fourth thing is that thoughtful people are generous. Apologies. Thoughtful people are generous. We are generous with our time. We're generous with our knowledge. We're generous with our service. We're generous with our advice. We're generous with our money. We're generous with our belongings. We are generous all round. And thoughtful people are generous, right? We're generous with our affection. And not as many people are generous with affection. So we're generous with our affection, and on and on. Final thing I would share is that thoughtful people are respectful. We're respectful of people simply because they are human beings. The end. So we treat others how we want to be treated. We love upon others. We treat each person as an equal, irrespective of age and class and size and position. We treat people with the dignity that they deserve simply because they're human beings, right? So I don't know which one of these tips are going to be helpful to you, but I hope that you take it on and become a more thoughtful person. Let's spread this thoughtfulness all across the world today and always. Have a beautiful day and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye now.